We find ourselves just a few short hours away, tonight, tomorrow, from the conclusion of this sacred and beautiful Yom Tov of Chanukah. And the last day of Chanukah has its own unique identity, often known as Zos Chanukah. Of course, the name on a technical level taken from the Kriyas Torah, the Torah reading for the last day. We speak about Zos Chanukah Mizbeach. Over the course of Chanukah, we've been reading about the various tribal offerings, the Karbanos of the Nisim, the tribal princes, when the Mishkan was dedicated, when the Mizbeach was dedicated. And so tomorrow culminates that reading. And the Trisker Maggid says something so beautiful. He says, on this last day of Chanukah, we read about the following. We see, Bayom Hashmini, on the 8th day, Nasi Libnei Menashe. On the 8th day of the consecration of the Mishkan, and by the 8th day of Chanukah, we read of the offering of the tribal prince of the tribe of Menashe, Gamliel ben Pedatzur. That was his name, Gamliel ben Pedatzur. And the Trisker Maggid says something so beautiful. He says, Bayom Hashmini, he says, Merami is the Mashmini Shel Chanukah. The 8th day of the consecration of the Mishkan ultimately again hints or alludes to the 8th day, the power of the 8th day of Chanukah. And what's the power of the 8th day of Chanukah? He says, which tribe, which Shevet offered up their carbon on the 8th day of the consecration? Menashe. The Trisker Maggid says that Menashe is the same letters as Neshama. That the 8th day of Chanukah is a day ultimately again where the Neshama is filled with such incredible power. The Menashe, Shevet Menashe, the Neshama, the soul, is filled with such incredible and overwhelming dynamic energy. And he says, what was the name of the tribal prince? What's the power of this day? Gamliel. So says the Trisker Maggid something so beautiful. Gamliel is a contraction. 3 words. Gam li el. Gam li kel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can also be mine. Ben Pedatzur. Pedei Tzur. Tzur the rock. Pedei can redeem me. That on the 8th day of Chanukah, says the Trisker Maggid, Menashe, the Neshama is so powerful that a Neshama that a Jew could say, Gam li kel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu could be mine also. Sometimes we feel so far from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sometimes we feel so removed. Sometimes we feel like we're like in the back row of Ruchnius. I'm in the bottom of the class. I'm the lowest rung of the ladder. I'm a nothing. I'm an Isras. I'm not going to amount to anything. At most, I could aspire to be just a regular person. But comes the 8th day of Chanukah, Zos Chanukah, the tribal offering of Menashe, the Neshama is so filled with such incredible potential that every single Jew has the ability to say, Gam li el, Pedei Tzur, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I also want to be yours, and I also want you to be mine. Pedei Tzur, the rock of my life, redeem me. Help me to become more. This is the power of Zos Chanukah. All we need to do is reach out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in some small way. All we need to do is take some small step. Our neshamas are bursting with energy and potential. And if we just reach out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, just with the simple words, Gam liel, Gam li kel, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I want you to be mine and I want to be yours. Pedei Tzur, help redeem me, my rock, from my difficult circumstances. If we reach out and say, Ribono Shel Olam, I want you, and I want you to want me, there is no telling what we could accomplish on this last day of Chanukah, on this Zos Chanukah. Wishing everyone a wonderful day and a freilichen Chanukah.